Hey everyone, I'm Jonathan Shaw, creator of the DTO system and founder of the DTO Academy. And in this video, we're going to look at why trying to understand your problems is not going to help you. One of the biggest mistakes that people make these days is they try and understand why they feel a certain way, why a situation's not working, or why they're ill or in pain. And understanding it is not actually going to work for you. Now, there's two types of understanding. There's the emotional response, trying to understand why you feel a certain way, or a life situation is not working for you, like a relationship or your boss or money. And then there's understanding why we're ill and diseased. I'm actually going to cover the understanding of why we're ill and diseased in another video because I don't want to take up too much time in this video and it's a little bit more in depth to go through. But in this video, we're going to look at why we try and understand the emotional response and how that's not going to help. The problem is we're all taught to understand our emotions. We're all taught you need to understand where it comes from. You need to find out where's it, because it comes from your childhood or school or things like that. And we're all taught to try and analyze and work out why we're feeling a certain way or why that person did what they did. We're constantly trying to analyze in our head why that happened and why that she did that or why he said this. And that never works. Not once does that ever going to work for you. And the reason for that is because, well, there's actually two reasons for it, but they're kind of back to back. The first reason is you're going into a state of fight and flight. Now, I talk about fight and flight a lot because it's the cause of all of our problems. The thing is that fight and flight is a biological response in your body, and trying to understand something is a logical exercise. Now, you cannot understand a biological response with logic. If you could, you wouldn't have the problem. In fact, nobody would have a problem because if the problem was logical, you'd be able to look at it and go, oh, that makes sense, and you'd go on your way. But you can't because even though you may think you've come to logical understanding, if the emotional response is still running, then you don't really understand what's wrong. You haven't really found the root of the problem. So what happens is when we have emotional responses or situations in our life we don't like, we're going into a state of fight and flight, which is our biological response because on some level we are perceiving danger. And then our fight and flight response kicks in. This cannot be understood with logic. It must be switched off using the DTO system or a similar technique because fight and flight is like a switch in your brain that gets switched on. So trying to understand it is not going to work. The other reason that you can't understand your problems is because when that fight and flight gets switched on, a filter goes in front of your eyes. You know when you go to opticians and you see the red and green filter? Well, a filter goes in front of your eyes, and now you see that life situation through that filter, or you see your response to that situation or that person through the filter. But the filter's false because the filter is based on your fight and flight state. It's based on the fact you've gone into fight and flight and you're now seeing it through either run away, fight, or freeze. So when you're trying to understand through the false filter. So everything you try and logically understand will be in this false filter. And this is all false. It's all nonsense. It's all rubbish. It's not who you are. It's a state of fight and flight. So you're never going to understand it. What you need to do is switch off fight and flight. The filter then gets removed, and you can see the situation and the way you were feeling clearly, and the problem will go away. You'll calm down, you'll relax, you'll go back to being who you truly are, the man or woman that you truly are, and everything will just start healing and changing around you. So that's the main two reasons why trying to understand your problems is never going to work. So stop it. Don't do it. It's not going to work. And I see my clients do this all the time. And even when I first start working with them, they still try and do it because we're programmed so much to understand why we have a problem. I treated a lovely lady the other day and we got rid of her rejection, abandonment issues. But even towards the end, because she's programmed, she's still trying to understand why she's feeling some ways. And I'm like, no, just switch it off. I taught her how to do a technique. Just switch it off. Just switch it off. Work out what you're actually feeling, as in, I'm feeling angry, and just switch it off. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to know where it comes from. You just need to be aware of what you are feeling: anger, frustration, fear, worry, guilt, shame, whatever it is. Now, awareness, completely different subjects. I'm going to cover that in another video because that's another myth about awareness. People don't understand what being aware really means. But all you really need to do is know what you feel and then switch it off. Trying to understand it won't work for you. Hope that makes sense. Now, if you want to learn DTO, you can learn DTO for yourself by going to dtoacademy.com and you can sign up for a 7-day free introductory training. Or you can reach out to me for one-on-one help at jonathan@thedtosystem.com. If you enjoyed this video, then please like it and share it if you're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Until the next video, I'm going to talk about why understanding your health and illness is not going to work for you, why your pain and illness, trying to understand it isn't going to work, and you need a different way of looking at it. But until then, until that next video, stay healthy, stay happy, keep smiling, and I will speak to you soon.